So in my last video we made it rain cubes. No, not cubes to be specific, spheres, because I changed the game object to a sphere, and this was what happened in the last video. So for this video today, I'm going to show you how to add color to a game object without necessarily having to use a material. Alright, so let's get into it. So we are going to create a script without using any of Unity's components. We'll create a C# script. So I'm going to right click in my project panel, and then I'm going to create a C# script, and I'm going to call this rend. So let's double click to open it in Visual Studio, and I'll see you there. Okay, so it's open now, and then what we need to do now will be to make a reference to the mesh renderer. If we go back to Unity and then we bring this cube up in our hierarchy. Okay, let's try this again. If I should bring this cube to my hierarchy, you can see the different components of it. Okay, I've already added a script called rend, so to the game object, that's why it's here. But if there is no script here and then you create one, you can just drag and drop it or drag it into the game object. It doesn't matter what, or even here it actually works because it's a prefab. So we're going to make a reference to this renderer because this is what we see in the screen, what is rendered out to us. So this is what makes it show. If I should deactivate this, you can see that it's only the collider and then the rigid body that appears. So if I click this, and it shows our eyes, the sphere. So we need to make a reference to it, and since I don't want it to be accessed in other places, I'm going to make a private reference. This private here just makes it invincible. Okay, so for people who you don't want people accessing whatever it is you want to make a reference to, so you use private. If you want to make it appear, you use public. Okay, you use public, or you can use the serialized field. Well, that's I haven't done a video on that yet. Serialized field, there it is. So I haven't done any video on that yet, but then I'll explain it in further videos to come. So let me make a private variable. I'll call this my mesh renderer. And for the mesh renderer, I'm going to call it my mesh. Okay, my mesh. And then I want to introduce a functionality of the mono behavior class, or for this script in particular, because I don't want everything to be accessed in the start, and I'm not going to use the update function, but I also don't want to create another function. So what I would do right now is to make a reference to this by mesh, but I want it to be preloaded before the game starts. So for the function that we use for this would be the void awake. Now for those who don't know what this is let me cancel this. So this is a part of the functions of Unity. So this, it loads in things which you want to be loaded before the game actually starts. So when it starts, you know it's being called upon once with the start function. The same thing happens in the awake, but then for the awake, it is called before the game object actually starts. So I will make my reference to the mesh over here. My mesh will be equal to get component get component, that will be my mesh renderer, mesh. Okay, so and then semicolon, and then so we've already made a reference to the mesh. Now what we need to do is to change the color of the mesh, and then since it's kind of raining spheres, I don't want a particular color. Just like the last video, I would use the random, but then this would be a new kind of code, so you would see what I am going to type in. So over here in my start function, I'm going to put in my mesh and then dot material dot color would be equal to, so mesh material color, this just it accesses the material for the mesh, and then I'm going to give it a color. It accesses the color of that mesh. So then the next thing I will be typing in here will be new color, and then so for the new color we use an RGBA function. For those, now you should know what that is because it's used for different aspects, not just in game development, but for this particular period we want to use it in game dev. RGBA is the value of red, green, blue and alpha. So we're not going to be messing with the alpha because we don't want it to be kind of opaque or light. We just want to use the RGB, and then I'm not going to specify a particular color. If I wanted to do that, I could just click use color and then dot add the color. So but rather I want to use the RGBA, so I'm going to type in random dot value, that's for the R, comma, same thing for the G, that's the green, and then finally same thing for the B, random value. So let me end this with a semicolon, and this is it. Okay, so let me save this, let me put it in Unity, let me load it in Unity. So it's loading now, just give it a second. I know we want to see our colors. Okay, so it's downloading, and then select the sphere, that's my prefab. You can drag the rend and then drop it, or drop it here, or also drop it here, so it works either way. So let me delete the sphere from the scene because I already have the prefab, and then the prefab is already in my spawn position, but then to be sure that it's the one I want, let me drag this and drop it here. So now when I play the game, let me just maximize this, shift space, for those who don't know how to do this. That's the shortcut key for maximizing the screen, the game screen. So when I play this now, you would see my balls falling with different colors. You can see different, this is black, this is blue. Let me make the balls, the spheres, kind of smaller so that we can see it well. So this is the game object, this is the prefab, so I'm going to adjust it by using one, and then one. It's going to be fairly small, but then this should be okay. And then when you make a change directly to the prefab, it actually updates. But then if it were to be here, if I drag it into my hierarchy, and then I should make if I were to make a change here, let's say 5 here, I have to click on this apply button here so that it would read it and then save it in the prefab. Okay, so if I don't hit apply, it doesn't save into the prefab, it just edits this particular game object in the scene, and it doesn't affect the prefab in any way. So let me delete this now, let me play this again. So when I play it now, you should see the balls spheres will be smaller, and then you get to see the colors a lot more. So this is it. And it's floating. So what I did was I actually forgot to add the gravity. So let me take this for the prefab. This is it. So let me take it for the prefab, and then now when I play this, you should see it more clearly. Okay, so there is blue here, there is yellow, and then more actually fell behind, but then so it's actually working, and then you can see that it gives random colors to different spheres, which is good because that is what we actually wanted. So you can see here there is a brown, green, red, and if you keep playing with it, I can assure you that there will be different colors. So this is it, different colors. This would be it for this video. So if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe for more of my content, like it, and leave a comment down below. Don't forget to do any of that. Thank you for watching this video, and see you in my next video.